Hey trailblazers, it's Miss Maiden. Today we are reading more of Ghost, pages 58 through 63. And do not tell Miss Briatico that I dog tagged her, because it was not me. My legs had pretty much clocked out, but instead of letting them just sit down and rest, Coach told me to walk it off. Walk it off, I asked, annoyed and confused and almost ready to cry. Yeah, just walk around the track. It'll cool down your body slowly. But I didn't want my body to cool down slowly. I wanted to cool down immediately. So yeah, at this point, I had pretty much made up my mind that track was the dumbest sport ever. I mean, you gotta move to warm up and move to cool down. Don't make no sense. Cool down should be, I don't know, some juice and an icy or something like that, not no walk. Once I finished the first lap, Coach told me to take one more. And about halfway around the second lap of me mumbling under my breath about how stupid all this was, I could see the other runners, my new teammates, showing up, dropping off their sports bags and water bottles and all that on the track, some of the parents trailing behind. This is gonna be it, Coach was preaching to everyone as I finally made it back to the other side of the track for the second time. 10 girls, 10 boys. Just so we're clear, that doesn't mean you still can't be cut. It means you ain't cut yet. Now, I'd like to keep it this way, but that's totally up to you. Got that? Everybody nodded, including a woman with braids who looked too old to be on the team, even though she was dressed in running clothes. I had first noticed her from the other side of the track and figured she was somebody's mother, until she didn't sit down with the rest of the corny kids cheering squad. Coach went on about how this was the third day of practice for the spring season, and he wanted to make sure we all knew each other, or at least make sure all the vets knew the newbies. I was still standing back, sort of outside of the circle, as Coach started rattling off everybody's names. On the girls' side for the vets, we have Maisha Cherry, Britt Bratt Williams, Melissa Jordan, Dee Dee Gross, Crystal Speed. Any girl with the last name Speed had to be fast. Kind of like any dude with the last name Bolt. Coach continued. Deja Bullock, Lynn Tate, Condra Fuller, Nikki McNair. He paused and motioned toward the last girl. And our newbie for the girls, Patina. But she has told me a few minutes ago that she goes by Patty Jones. Everybody laughed. Everybody clapped. Patty, I got high hopes for you, young lady. Let's make it happen. Then he started calling out the boys' names. First the vets. Eric Dane, Karan Outlaw, Aaron Holmes, Mikey Farrar, Freddie Hayes, Josh JJ Jerome, and Chris Myers. You boys better look out for our newbies. Lou Richardson, Sonny Lannister, and this was when Coach turned to me. As of yesterday, this kid, Castle Cran. Ghost, I cut him off before he could even get the shot out. Just call me Ghost. Coach gave me a look. Actually, everybody gave me a look. Probably because I didn't have no shirt on, and my pants were rolled to my knees, and my belt was yanked so tight that it made the denim bunch around my waist like genie pants. But whatever. I was gonna tell them that, son, Coach said. Then he turned back to the rest of the team. Lastly, this is your assistant coach, Coach Witt. Coach Witt was the woman with the braids. She also had chubby cheeks. And like I said, she looked too old to be on the team, but she definitely didn't look old enough to be nobody's coach. Then she pulled out a whistle from underneath her sweatshirt, so that pretty much meant she was. Give it up for your squad, Coach told us, clapping his hands together. This is going to be a great season. Everybody cheered and clapped for maybe 10 seconds before Coach shut it down and told us it was time to get to work. He divided everyone up into whatever their specialty was. Because most of the other kids had been running track for like forever, Coach knew who was a sprinter, who ran long stuff, and who ran all the junk in the middle. As far as the newbies were concerned, Sunny was a long runner, and Patty ran the in-between. Me and Lou were the sprinters. I never knew I was a sprinter. So guess what we were doing for practice? Sprinting. And guess who just finished sprinting and didn't get a break? Me. Today is Wednesday. And Mikey, why don't you inform our newbies about what sprinters do on Wednesdays? Coach said. Mikey was a vet sprinter, a light-skinned kid with braces and a rock face. The kind of guy who didn't really say too much because he just assumed he wouldn't say nothing back. Except to Coach, of course. Ladders, Mikey grumbled. That's right, Coach paced back and forth. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time Coach called a number, he clapped his hands together like a cheerleader. Okay, let me explain what Coach was talking about because I didn't have a clue at first either. All those numbers, the 4s, the 3s, and all that, yeah, add 100 on the end and add meters at the end of that. So 400 meters, 300 meters, 200 meters, and so on. We had to run those. Down the ladder to 100, then back up to 4. I didn't think the day that started kind of bad, then got good, then got bad, then got better, then got bad again, could get worse until Coach told me, Lou, Mikey, and Aaron, the 4 sprinters on the boys' side, to get on the line. 4 words I was already sick and tired of hearing. The whistle blew, and, well, Lou, Mikey, and Aaron blew me away. Back on the line, this time for 300. Toasted. Back on the line, now the 200. Roasted. Back on the line for the 100. Dusted. 5-minute break, Coach said. Grab some water. He came over to me, put his hand on my shoulder. I was literally folded in half, trying to catch my breath. My eyes were watering, but I knew better than to cry. I ain't no crybaby, especially not over no running. You all right, Coach asked? I couldn't get the words out. Every time I tried to speak, the sound was shoved back in my throat by a sharp inhale, so I just nodded. Then Coach squeezed my shoulder and pulled me up so that I was standing straight. Remember what I told you, stand tall. I put my hands on my head, wove my fingers together. Now hustle up and get some water, Coach nudged me. You only got 3 minutes. Here's the other thing I didn't really know about being on a team. There are rules to drinking water. I mean, I guess it might be different on different kinds of teams, but on this team, everybody had their own water bottle that they had brought with them. So when I went over to the bench with the other sprinters, I just sat down. Didn't ask nobody for a swig or nothing because, I don't know, it just didn't seem like something I should do. The only feel I had for these guys was that Lou was cocky and Mikey seemed too serious to share, and Aaron, well, I couldn't get a read on him at all yet. So I figured 3 minutes to catch my breath was just as good as water. It would have to be. Where's your water, newbie? Aaron asked, looking down the row. All right, guys, that's it for today.